arm day, which I was looking forward to. I'm not gonna lie, considering I've been kind of overeating a little bit. I'm not like just a tad bit. I am full on protein and fat right now. I ate some Wingstop, so with no fries, only corn and some vegetables. So you know, I'll be a little more full than usual. Uh, Deciding to go to 60 for today. So I started at 35 for warm up, 45 for 2 sets of 10, and now 60 pounds for I don't know how many. This is more of a testing my strength kind of set. If it doesn't feel right, then I'll go back down to 55. But I'm pretty confident on this one. Whew. I think I'm pretty confident. I just need the wrist straps to be able to like hold on to the barbell or dumbbell long enough to rep them out. So I do not want to like just stop because of my forearms. Okay. That feels really weird. Doesn't necessarily feel too bad, but I think it'd be better for me to go down. Yeah, it would be better. Okay. Going down to 50. Whew. Okay. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, so able to get 60 for 2 reps. Not too bad. I just wanted to check before I did the 50s. But since I already did 45, I would do 55. But I think I want to go for reps since I already kind of fucked myself over with the 60s. Again, it could be taken as like ego lifting, but I was trying my best not to like swing. And I'm calling it right there for the 60 pounds because I know I'm not going to be able to get a good pump or a good working set with those. Just like based off how they moved. So I'm going to still do 2 more sets, just not at 60s. Go down to 50s. I understand where my strength is now. So I'll be fine. Night and day. Fuck. Whew. I was not keeping track. I was probably like 5 or 6 reps. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna take a good breather and then just go into like, I can't no more.
That makes sense.
Fuck. That felt good. Doing those extra reps at the end with the 32, actually 32.5, felt amazing. Shit. That is perfect. All right, so rope extension, tricep extension things. Started at 80 pounds, which is honestly probably was a little too light. Probably should have started like at 100 or something. Now I'm at 120, so did go up in weight a little bit, a good amount, a pretty big jump from 80 to 120, 40 pounds. It feels good. I'm able to get a few reps in. When I mean a few, I mean like 6 to 8. I did have to wait a little bit for the machine, so my arm pump is basically gone already. You know, it's not too bad, but I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna do one more set of this because I already did another one set. I forgot to record. I'm gonna do one set of this, drop it to a single arm, and then just drop it out for each arm. That's why I can't go no more. Obviously at a reasonable weight, nothing too heavy, nothing too light. And then from there, switch over to some shoulders, biceps, and forearms. Yeah. Fucking bitch. That's probably a better angle. Okay. One more rotation. That felt good. All right, some dumbbell shoulder press. Now this is gonna be a little more difficult. My right shoulder is a little weird, or my left, I mean. Jesus Christ. My left shoulder is acting a little weird, but the second set felt really good. So I'm a little skeptical, but a little optimistic at the same time. I did 50s relatively easy on my second set, and this jump might sound a little crazy, but to 70 pounds, so a 20-pound jump on a very uncertain shoulder is a little insane. I was gonna go to 60, but I couldn't find any 60s, or more like I didn't want to look for them. I saw 70s and found them. I got them. So I'm a little nervous on how this is gonna go. If it feels completely bad or something feels wrong, I'm dropping the weight. I'm going down to 60 or 55 even, and just doing that. But I mean, I feel pretty good. My left shoulder's just a little weird, man. That's the only issue. My right shoulder feels great. Just my left one. Okay. Shit. That was a lot better than expected. Holy shit. Oh, fuck. That was way better than expected. What was that, 6 reps? With no pain? Hell yeah. That's a big improvement from before. Like when I used to be able to rep out 60s, yeah, I was able to get, upwards to 8 to 10 reps. Or no, I used to do 75s because I was a max in Planet. And I was, what the hell? What happened to my music? I was able to do at least like 8 to 10 reps. Oh, that's a song. But at the end of it, my left shoulder feel a little weird. Now, I do feel like I was a little neglectful when I was younger. So that probably really fucked up my shoulder in the long run. But as of right now, it feels good. It feels solid. It does feel a little weird whenever I bench. But for shoulder press, it feels perfectly fine. So I am happy that for at least 70 pounds, it feels good. There we go. I'm gonna take a little breather. I'm gonna do one more set.
We have the beauty, we have the
Again, it took a little bit to get the cable machine, but doing some forearms. Honestly, I'm going heavier than expected. I thought I was going to keep it around 80 pounds, but 100 pounds, because I'm doing a wider grip than usual, because my wrists were fucking hurting. It's helping out a lot. Fuck. Oh, my fucking ear. It gets itchy for some reason. Fuck. Fuck. I think one more set, and I'm good. Finish off with some arms of some sort. I hope this helps my grip strength as much as I think it will, because my grip strength is just fucking terrible, man. One can only hope. Fuck. A few more reps, just a few more. Come on. God damn. Yeah, I think that's good. Fucking bitch. Incline curls. I don't know. Is that the actual name for it? I don't know. It makes sense. Incline bench plus curls. Same shit. Started at 30. I'm doing it relatively light. Just trying to go for reps on this one. So 30 into 35s. 30 for 2 sets, 10 reps each. And hopefully the same thing with the 35s. I'm already burning out, so I'm getting pretty tired. It was a pretty long workout, so these two, some cardio, and then I'm done for the day. And I did have to use the restroom in the middle of it, so it kind of did slow down my momentum, so I am taking a little longer than usual. And it's not, it's gonna happen sometimes. It's not always gonna be perfect, but make do with what you have and make the most of whatever you're doing, I guess. Fuck. Oh, okay. Oh. Oh, fuck. Okay, this is gonna be lower than I thought. It's about three more. Oh, fuck. Whew. Shit. Was that 8, 9? It's not bad. Oh, shit. Yeah, I burned a lot harder than, or a lot more than I expected. I will say, at the peak of my pump, it did feel really good. It felt really nice and full. Obviously, I'm a little deflated now, but still kind of there. Still kind of there. Don't you worry now. God damn. Come on. I can do more. What the fuck is going on with my music? What the hell? Hello? My earbud go. I don't know where my earbud went. Fuck. I lost my earbud. Alright. Where am I? Oh, it's in my pocket. I'm dumb. But that is it for today.
These foster homes, I run away and never do miss them.
Alright. Yeah, that's it for today. Arm day completed. Honestly, felt really solid. Felt really good. Forearms felt great. Because usually when I do forearms, my wrist is like crunchy and it hurts a lot. But today it didn't feel like that at all. So I'm happy about that. Biceps are gonna be fried for sure. Fucking my actuator's going off again. I definitely did go pretty hard on biceps today. So I'm definitely gonna feel that either later on today or tomorrow. I am satisfied with today, though. I'm thoroughly satisfied, very happy with the amount of effort I put in, with the amount of weight I was able to move around, and yeah, I mean, nothing else I could have really asked for. I'm gonna be honest. Felt great. Now, the only thing that I would have maybe wanted to include, would have wanted to include, would be another tricep movement. But because of using the restroom kind of killing my momentum, I didn't want to like use the remaining of my energy to do triceps. I do think the tricep movements I did do were sufficient enough. Although at the end of the workout, I did feel as if I had more to give in terms of triceps. For my biceps, like they feel pretty burnt already. Same thing for forearms. They both feel pretty done for the day. The only thing that still has energy left is the tricep, and I do feel like I could have gone and done more. But that's just the feeling. My triceps are the strongest part of my arm, so it does make sense that they would have a lot more to give. But it's no excuse. It is what it is. I may do with the energy and with the time I have, so I'm satisfied. I did go pretty heavy on shoulders, and it went pretty good, pretty well. So I'm extremely happy about that. My shoulder doesn't really hurt. It did feel a little weird on the first set. I'm not gonna lie. Like the first set with 50, it did hurt a little bit, but I was like, fuck. I need to kind of power through it, because I know the first set is always gonna be the most difficult when it comes to like those type of movements. Where it'll hurt a little bit. And I know the first set is always going to be the worst, because my body has to get used to it again, because I haven't been doing shoulder presses for a very long time. I've been doing lateral raises, rear delt flies, and the occasional like machine shoulder press, but not with dumbbells. So doing it with dumbbells is completely different, because you're not guided, you're not helped in any shape or form. You really have to like stabilize yourself. Your shoulder has to stabilize itself, and it has to push really hard for itself. So yeah, I just haven't been doing that for very long, or in a very long time. So it did take a set to get used to it again. But once that set was over and I went into the next set, it felt completely good, felt really nice. The only issue was the bench, because like I explained, if I feel like when I try to go full force on the bench, I kind of push my back onto it, and since my upper back is kind of like, there's no support on it because it's a small bench, it's only supporting my lower back. So when I press back, my I feel like I'm like that basically. So my lower back is stuck right there. My upper back is like pushing back, because I'm trying to like exert as much force as possible. So it just didn't feel right, like my upper back is all the way up like back here, my lower back is all the way back here, and I just that curve, or that point where like the bending starts, hurts a lot. This is an ice center. Oh, that's pretty cool for glasses and shit. So that was the only issue. I wish I had a different bench, but at the time there's a lot of people at the dumbbell racks, and there's no available alternative. So I just said, fuck it, I'll deal with it, and I did. So I made do with what I had, and I got it done. It wasn't the most comfortable, but it got the job done. That's all that really matters. But I'm happy, because I feel like with the amount of reps I did for 70 pounds, I can easily go back up to my old strength when I was able to rep out 75s for 10 reps. So I'm definitely going to build on top of that and continue with my shoulder presses, because that was one of the strong points I really had, and one of like the things I was very proud of was very strong shoulders. Keep in mind, the shoulder like pain and injury wasn't really because of weightlifting. It was more like neglect in terms of like it wasn't weightlifting in terms of the gym, but in terms of the job I worked with my dad. So we would have to carry a lot of heavy things, and I just didn't know the technique. I didn't really brace myself. I would push myself too hard, and I did fuck up my body a little bit. I didn't really wear much protection in terms of like ears and mouth. So I did breathe in a bit of like natural stone dust, and my left ear is a little damaged from like all the stone cutting. So I do have like a continuous like ringing in my ears. It's not very loud, but if everything goes like mad quiet and I'm isolated by myself with no noise, there's a slight ringing in my ear. It makes it a little difficult to go to sleep. I'm not gonna lie, but I got used to it over time, and I just deal with it because like there's no other way to you know really cure it or solve the problem. So just got to deal with it, consequences of my actions. But yeah, so injuries weren't really gym or a gym issue. It was more of a just life issue. I just wasn't armed with the right knowledge or with the right caution, and I just fucked my shit up. My first back injury was because I was lifting a bag of cement when I was 12, 13 years old, something like that. I had to carry a bag of cement, or I was asked to carry a bag of cement by my uncle up a flight of stairs in a house we were working on. And me being hard-headed and very like prideful, I don't like coming off as weak, as physically weak. Like I really want to be capable. So my dad offered to help. I told him no, I got this. So he took another bag. He went up on the head, and I was carrying. I forgot if it was a bag or a bucket. It was one of those two, but it had cement in it. And as I was carrying it, yeah, I just messed on my back at the exact moment. I didn't really feel anything. I only felt it after the day was done. And yeah, I just hurt a lot. And then I told my uncle, and he was like, well, it's not my fault. It's your fault. And I was like, well, yeah, you're kind of right, but fuck, man. And ever since, he did want to get me a lifting belt, but that was already too late. By that time, a couple months later, because keep in mind, I only worked on the weekends with my dad, and even then, that wasn't always like for big jobs like that. So my dad's job was like making things out of natural stone, so marble, granite, all that stuff. Well, and stone in general. And it's not always natural, but he would make that, so I would be part of the fabrication process. He would cut it up, measure it, and make whatever cuts he had to do. Any rough, he would basically do the draft, and then I'd polish the whatever he did. So I'd be in charge of polishing the edges, making sure nothing's sharp, making sure everything looks nice and shiny, making sure everything was everything was smooth. And I actually held pride in the job I did, because I feel like I did a really good job, at least after I got a hang of it. But I felt like I did a very good job, and that every time that we installed the stone themselves into the houses, which was very rare, we didn't really do that much. Me and my dad were like very basically the head of the fabrication process. We would have workers with us. We would direct them. They would have their own jobs for other people, but when they came to jobs for us, like for my uncle, we would direct them, and they would help out. Well, more like my dad would direct them, and I'd help them with whatever they needed help with, and then I'd take care of the polishing part, which was the very last part, other than installation, which wasn't really our responsibility. But sometimes my uncle would need help, and he would take us along with him to help install the whatever it might be. It might be like a countertop, might be a backsplash, it might be a table, it might be an island, it might be a number of things, a restroom, a bench, the shower bench, or it could be the flooring for a big ass living room. But it could be a lot of things. And those stones are heavy, bro. They're fucking heavy. Unfortunately, my dad got into an accident where he broke his leg because of one, because the machine that they usually use to like carry them, it slipped out of it and it crushed his leg. Thankfully, it was only his leg, because it could easily kill somebody. Easily kill somebody. But yeah, we would help him out. And what was my point? Oh, well, by the time I saw him again and he got me a lifting belt, I already told him, like, oh yeah, like, I'll use it. But I already learned how to brace or how to carry things, heavy things, because at this time it was when I was working out with my brother and he showed me how to deadlift. So deadlifting technique is very useful in terms of like manual labor, because anything that's heavy on the ground that you have to pick up, I mean, you just gotta do exactly what you do for a deadlift. Brace your core, dig with your heels, move with your legs, and keep your back as stiff as possible. No curving, no bending, no nothing. And as long as you have that good technique, as long as you have that good technique, you won't get hit. So ever since then, I never really got an back injury from my job. But that one like fuck up I did when I was a little kid still kind of bothers me to this day. My brother has the same thing. He has a little kink in his back from working with my dad, and his is worse because he was worked like a dog. I'm not gonna lie. Like the treatment I got working with my dad and my uncle was like, I was basically coddled compared to my brother, because my brother was like treated like a worker. I was treated more of an assistant, because I was basically an assistant. I would help out. I wouldn't be a necessary part of the job, but I'd be like a very useful part. Like I'd help things go smoother, but I wasn't necessary. For my brother's case, he was necessary. When he was working with my uncle and my dad, he was like one of the more productive and better workers. So a lot more was expected from him. For me, it was more like because one time I remember going to work after binging a game, and I was fucking like falling asleep standing up, and my dad noticed, and he was like, hey, I noticed that you're very sleepy, like just go into the bed of the truck and go to sleep, so you don't hurt yourself and you don't mess anything up. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And he wouldn't be well, at least it wouldn't seem like he would be like bothered by it. Now, he could have been, and he probably didn't show it, but at least he didn't. If he was bothered, he didn't show it. So that's at least one thing. Because for my brother, at least how my mom would explain it was that is whenever my brother fucked up, my dad would like immediately be on his ass. So my brother definitely had a rougher upbringing than I did, and it really shows. Because I mean, I wouldn't say he's like the most disciplined, but he's definitely, kind of sounds weird saying this, but he's more of a man than I am. Way more of a man than I am. He is way more capable and way more reliant or reliable. He's way more reliable than I am. I would say that wholeheartedly. Fuck. He is way more of a man and way more reliable than I am. Like, I am capable for myself, but when it comes to other people, like, I'll try my best, but I won't always deliver. And that's not something I would say I'm proud of, but it's something that's the reality. Like, I'm not somebody that I would say people can rely on. I have my moments, but I like, compared to my brother is always there whenever we have an issue. Whenever there's an issue that regards our family, he's always there. And that's one thing that me, my mom, my sisters love about him, is that if we need help, we can rely on him. But for me, it's like, I don't know, maybe I grew up more selfish, maybe I'm more self-centered, but I'm a little more focused on myself, and I'm not very I'm not very well with having other people rely on me. Now, it is cool when I know somebody when I know somebody has enough trust in me to rely on me for a certain task. It's cool, you know. I appreciate that, but for the most part, I feel like um, maybe I'm just a little too negative on myself, but I do feel like I lack a lot when people rely on me. You know, when people need help from me, I feel like I don't really give it 100%. Maybe I'm just a little too self-critical, but you know, in the moment in my head, I feel like I am giving my 100%. But looking back, I could have done more. I could have done better. I could have provided more. You know, maybe I'm just too self-critical, but you know, I try my best. At least that's what I think. You know, that is that constant doubt that kind of fucks me up. I'm not gonna lie, but I will say my brother's more of a man than I am. Way more of a man. Fuck. Like, fuck, man. Imagine, like, all right. Let me just try to like tell you guys how he grew up and how what his story is like. At least from my understanding, right? He might have a more in depth. Well, he definitely has a more in depth point of view because it's his life. But he is an illegal immigrant. Keep in mind, my mom and my dad made the choice to come over here. My brother didn't. So he was kind of dragged here by my mom and my dad at the age of, I think it was 5 or 6. And he went to school only knowing Spanish, having all English speaking teachers. And during the fucking 90s, dog, where tensions are at the highest it can possibly be for any ethnicity that you're at. You know, there's gang wars between the Mexicans and the blacks. There's tension between the whites and everybody else. There's a lot of tension with the police with people of color. You know, there's just anywhere you look, there's gonna be some kind of tension, some kind of altercation, and some kind of issue between two different groups of people. Him being the most Mexican you can fucking be, speaking Spanish, short, thick hair. Well, I think he grew it out to make like a small little afro, I think. But short, thick hair, really fucking brown. You know, he had it hard, man. He had to grow up. You know, he had to make the right friends and be careful with the people he hung out with. Like, I'm thankful to his friend Martin. At least from what I know, is that he helped and protected my brother when they were in middle school. And ever since, they've been homies. You know, they still talk to this day. And, you know, I really appreciate what he did for my brother, because I know, like, at those times, especially in LA, shit could have gone bad, shit could have gone worse, and, you know, the worst could have happened. So, you know, I'm happy that he's had injuries here and there. I will say that one time when he was in high school, actually, because I was in elementary, he went to some kind of party. There was a fight, and he got stabbed in the eye, or it's like around the eye, by a fucking bottle, by a glass bottle. And he had fucking crazy stitches all around here. And thankfully they missed his eye. You know, he kept his vision. But it was bad, man. It was bad. And he had a couple sport injuries, but that wasn't because of any altercation. That was just him playing baseball. But yeah, it was bad. And I'm sure he's gone through other shit, because he grew up in LA during the 90s. He went to high school during the early 2000s. And he went to fuck, I forgot the name of the schools. But well, keep in mind, he actually grew up in Compton. He grew up in Compton. We moved to LA when he was in high school, because then he went to Jordan. And yeah, so he was kind of like in both like high, like very hot areas. So he grew up seeing some shit. He was there for the LA riots when he was in middle school or high school. And he's seen some shit. I'm sure he has stories. I just never really ask about his life because at least within my own family we like having our privacy and we like having our space. And I'm not gonna intervene on something like personal for my sisters or my brother. I'm not gonna ask my brother about his relationships or his past relationships. Same thing for my sisters. I'm not gonna ask them about that. um, I won't ask my mom about her past relationships, especially since I know she has had some because she got a divorce from my dad. But those topics are just not something you try to get out of them. If they openly share it, then that's great. If they don't, then respect their privacy. At least that's what I think. But yeah, uh, yeah, my brother definitely grew up tough. And in comparison, I feel like I was coddled. I feel like I was babied. And my mom being a single mom at the time of raising me, because my dad really wasn't there. Uh, he was there, kind of. He was more there as like a, kind of sounds a little weird, but he was more there as a friend to us than a dad. He would hang out and he would spend time with us when he can. When we needed him, he wasn't always there, so it was like, yeah, he felt more as a friend now. Now that doesn't mean I don't care for him, and I don't appreciate. That doesn't mean I don't appreciate what he did for us, but also I have to, like, as a parent, he was a shit parent. I'm not gonna lie, he was a shit parent, but I love him because he's my dad, and he's being drunk and stuff. He has confessed a couple things to me and my sister. I'm pretty sure for my sister too, but he does acknowledge his regret and his the pain he felt when he wasn't always there for us. And I remember my mom telling my dad about how I told my mom that, well, I was a kid, right? And I would rarely see my dad. He would rarely come to my birthdays. And one time when I was, like, I think 12 or 13, like, I was eagerly waiting for my dad to be there for my birthday, and he never got there. And that shit fucked me up. I'm not gonna lie, that shit fucked me up. Because I'm pretty sure he did tell me that he was gonna pull through for my birthday, and he never did. And that happened a good amount of times. Like, he wasn't always there for my birthdays or any, like, big changes. And I understand him and my mom didn't really have the best relationship, but him being a wife is different from him being a dad. Like, you might be a shit husband or a shit partner or whatever the fuck, but at least try to be a good dad. And he was pretty shit at both. So, it is what it is. My dad became a dad at a very young age, and he didn't really have time to, like, develop as a dad, or be developed as a man, I would say. I mean, my dad's a man. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he takes care of his shit. He does what he has to do, and he's done some shit. He's told me some stories. Like, I don't doubt that my dad is a man, but a man in terms of, like, a man of a household is different, and he didn't fully learn how to be one. And sucks, but the past is the past. It is what it is. And when my dad got drunk, he did express to me the regret he felt for not being there for me and my siblings. Well, not being there very often, because he was there occasionally, like, here and there. He would be there, a couple graduations, a couple birthdays, but he wouldn't always be there. And like, growing up, you would expect your parents to at least show up for the special days, you know, for Christmas, for birthdays, for graduations, for you know, like highlights in a kid's life. Because when you're a kid, holidays and birthdays are like hella fucking important to you, and you would want both of your parents to be there. But you know, my dad wasn't always there. Now I'm making it seem like it's worse than what it actually was. You know, I after, like, once I got into my early teens, into my later teens, I just, you know, expected it from my dad. I just, you know, I stopped expecting my dad to be there always. So, you know, the only person I was really able to rely on was my mom and my siblings. Kind of, you know, we kind of mended our relation, or at least I mended my relationship with my siblings later on, more like in high school. Yeah, you know, not, things weren't always sunshine and rainbows for my family, but you know, we got to the point where we're all happy. We all care for each other, and that's all that really matters. You know, the past is the past. Shit happens. People feel feelings differently, and we all process grief differently. So it is what it is. But anyways, I've been yapping too long. Oh, this is a long ass fucking talking session. I'm almost home. Fuck. It usually takes me like 20 minutes. What marker is it? Oh shit! God, half an hour? Fuck. Am I gonna post this whole thing? You know what? Fuck it, I am. I don't give a fuck. This is gonna be an hour-long video. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys watched the whole thing, I mean, fuck, man, I'm surprised. I am genuinely surprised. But yeah, I mean, my childhood wasn't as bad as what other people experienced. So I don't want to seem like, oh, I had it hard at all, like I'm so sad. Like, yeah, like it sucks not having a dad around, but I'm sure others have had a dad that's maybe abusive, or you know, there's always worse outcomes. There's always going to be a worse outcome, and I would say I am definitely, I was raised very well for like the conditions that I've had. Like there was very little to worry about, and the problems that were there, my mom and my older brother were able to like take care of without having to like dump it onto me, my younger siblings, me and my sisters, at least from my knowledge. You know, my sisters might have a different account, but as of my perspective, I never really had any issues other than, you know, my dad. So, you know, I'm very grateful for my mom about that, and I feel like I was raised pretty well, and I was protected from, you know, the negative influences outside of my house. You know, thankfully, you know, I was definitely influenced a little bit, you know, in terms of like just smoking weed. You know, that's probably the worst I've done. Smoking weed and breaking into a pool. Public pool, by the way. So yeah, those are probably like the worst things I've done. You know, I've stolen from a store here and there, but that was when I was younger and dumb as hell. So yeah, I've made mistakes, and I do regret a lot of mistakes, but I hope to better myself, or at least prove to myself that I've improved. So yeah. But anyways, peace out, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Stay safe, and you know, I don't want to go on even longer. So fuck. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for what the fuck, legs? I might take a rest day. I ain't gonna lie, my legs are fucking still hurting. It's like crazy. Fuck.